everyone. I see Regmoon Music, grace and peace. Grace and peace to you too. I am here alone. Michael will try his best to join us, but in case he doesn't make it, I am here. It's just gonna be me and you. Okay. I see people joining in, so I'll repeat what I just said, but tell me before I continue talking. Let me know if you can hear me clearly and you can see me clearly. I want to know. Sometimes, you can be talking for hours and then you realize nobody heard you. So just let me know if you can hear me down below. I would really, really appreciate it. And then we can start talking, okay? Just let me know if you can hear me right. Yes. Okay. Um, so as I said, I'll repeat myself because I hear you loud and clear. Perfect. Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Thabo. I really appreciate it because I'm here alone. I'm gonna need your support today. I'm gonna have a lot of conversation with you guys because Michael is trying his best, okay, to join us. But in case he doesn't make it, we still have a lot to talk about, in Africa. Um, we continue seeing stories and it never stops. So we just need, okay, thank you. Now is when the comments are coming. Yes, 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 yes. Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone, for letting me know. And I see people are joining. As you can see, I am alone. I'll repeat this to those that are coming later on and they don't know where Michael is, okay? So I'm very happy you guys are hearing me. So there are a few topics that we are going to touch on today, and I want this to be an open dialogue. I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me what you're thinking and what your thoughts are about the topics we're going to discuss. So just be attentive and let your fingers be on your keyboard. Okay, thank you so much. Hi Leila, you said, I hope I pronounced your name correct. You said first time on here. Okay, welcome. And Alpha said, how are you doing? I am doing very well. I look forward to chatting up with you and discussing what's going on. So do we start? Everybody's ready? Thank you. Thank you, Regmo Music. Everybody smash that like button. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so we can start from Kenya. Okay, if you see me looking this way, I'm looking at my tablet. So I want us to start from Kenya declining Ukraine request. So this happened 3 days ago. In case you don't know about it, I want to start from the beginning, okay? The beginning is there's a war in Ukraine and Russia, and everybody wants us to take sides. By us I mean Africans and African countries. Just everybody's trying to force us into seeing things the way they see things. The US just a week ago, I think we covered it, was telling African countries we need to be on the side of Ukraine and we need to have a strong opinion against Russia and all that stuff, right? So now Ukraine is asking, okay, let's call it asking. I don't want to give it a name. I'll just say asking. They kept asking Kenya to allow them to have a conversation or like a speech in their parliament, like Kenyan parliament, and Kenya said no. So let me read for you. This is from Nation Africa. The headline is Nairobi declines Ukraine request to address Kenyan parliament. So obviously Ukraine is not happy about this because they wanted to address the Kenyan parliament and Kenya said no. So according to at least the Nation's report, they said that a source told them the Kenyan government feels like the officials feels like they've already done enough. They talked about it in UN Security Council. They've backed Ukraine in a way because they were saying, like, yo, Russia, what you're doing is not right. We said what we needed to say. I don't think you guys now should be given a platform in our own parliament. And, rightfully so. I feel them because, Kenyan parliament is there for the people. It's about, they are there to help with their people's issues and discuss what needs to be passed in the law and the policies and all that stuff. Why are they giving a platform for Ukraine to come and talk about Ukraine's issues? So I totally get it. There's a place and time for everything. And it seems like Ukraine is not happy about that. Well, as I said, I'm not mad at that. I get why the Kenyan government did what they did, but you let me know. As I said, this is going to be a conversation between Chat and me. So let me know what your thoughts are about this, like Kenya refusing or declining Ukraine's request to address the Kenyan parliament. As I said, I believe they did the right thing. If they felt like they want to stay neutral, if they feel like they've done enough with the UN Security Council and with the government be openly saying we don't support war, why are they, being bombarded by requests like we need to address your parliament? Like we don't see this happening like the other way around, like an African country going to those countries' parliaments and saying, give us a platform to talk about our issues in your parliament, right? Am I crazy for thinking that? Let me see what the chat is saying. I see Gio saying good morning to you too. Corey said, Kenya did great. I'm with Kenya 1000%. At least Corey is with me and you agree. So, okay. So until I see another comment, we are going to continue with our discussion. So the other one, since we're already in the topic of Ukraine Ukraine wanting something from African countries or Africa in general, Ukraine president just asked to address the AU. What are your thoughts about this? What are your thoughts about this? So let me read for you the article so that you just get the idea. Ukrainian president speaks in capital Kyiv in this handout video, and he requested to address African Union Senegalese President Macky Sall. Said that that's what he asked him on their conversation. As you know, Macky Sall is AU's chairperson right now, and he's also the president of Senegal. So what are your thoughts about that before I share my thoughts? Finan said, has Ukraine acknowledged their discrimination towards Africans and apologized for it? Thank you, Finan. Thank you so much. That is a great question. And I didn't hear it if they did, and I don't think they did. In fact, they said that it was a lie. If you remember, their minister came out and he said, nope, these guys are lying. And so the Africans had to defend themselves by posting videos, sharing videos, posting on YouTube, sharing on Twitter and TikTok, for them to be heard. And even then, the mainstream media didn't pick the story, like it's not worth it, It's just our platforms and people that tagged the people that it concerns, like the governments and the people that are denying it. So it's like they not only ignored the fact, they didn't apologize, but also they claimed that it's a lie. So yeah. Thank you. That was a good point. I agree with you. Let me see if there are others that I missed. Unapologetically Black said, they don't treat us like human. Exactly. Like, yes. And, it's not about you did this to me, so I'm going to do this to you. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. Like, why are you asking to address my parliament? Why are you asking, us to take a side? We as like a nation have every right to be neutral if we want to side with the other side if we want to. At the end of the day, it's up to us. We're sovereign countries, right, in Africa. But now they're taking it as if like we're like children. They can tell us do this, do that, don't do this. So it just does not make sense to me, and I think that's what I'm against. So Alpha said, am I the only one that thinks, yeah, the president is being a puppet? I do think that way. And not just that, I don't know if he's, okay, this is, I shouldn't say it. No, I'm not going to say it, but I was going to say, he used to be like a comedian or like an actor before this. So I'm not like, people can change their careers, people can educate themselves on new things. Like, all of us had to be a dummy on certain things until we developed a passion and we learned about it, right? So even him, I'm pretty sure he wanted to make a change and he became a leader. But it's not like he was like a humanitarian or like he was deep in politics. So I don't know how good he is as a leader. Let's just say that. Um, I also agree with you, my sister. Yes, Regmon. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. And yes, Sykes said they let Africans leave that country last, so Kenya did what's best. Yep. Watching from the Gambia. Hello, humble justice. Ronaldo said, please read my comment. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. I'm sorry. Um, Marco said, I don't see any problem with Ukrainian president speaking with anyone. Of course, everyone has the right to decline. In general, though, I feel the issue is the UN, as usual, is basically not working. Yeah, Marco, like they have every right to ask, of course. But Kenya has every right to decline, and we have every right to have an opinion on it, right? And my thing is, they're the ones talking to the media, um, like, I guess, trying to get sympathy, saying that like Kenya declined us. So I mean, as you said, they have every right to ask, but Kenya had every right to decline also. But I hope they're not using this as a tactic to bully Kenya into saying okay, right? So let's go to the next topic. Next topic is about government of Mali blocking a British flight. Okay, let me just open it here. Yeah, here it is. So, Mali turns back Ghana-bound British Airways flight from its airspace. So, yeah, as of now, the military junta, still haven't, you know, told us why they did what they did. But there's speculation, and I tend to think that's why they did it. Although I don't know why they did, like they banned this specific British Airways flight. Basically, the flight was coming from London. It was supposed to land in Mali and then go to Ghana because that was its final destination. But Mali said, nope, you are not going to land it here. So the plane had to return back to London. And the people from British Airways are annoyed and pissed, as well as Ghanaians. The reason why Ghanaians are annoyed, the Ghanaian authorities are annoyed, is because, most of the people on board were Ghanaians. And we understand both sides. For me, I understand both sides because I get the frustration from the Ghanaian side, but I also know like how Mali, I can guess how Mali is feeling right now because of the sanctions that were put on them by the ECOWAS. And, ECOWAS chairperson right now, the main guy is Ghanaian president. And, it's sad that it had to come to this, like blocking flights and putting on sanctions because I don't know. First of all, we've seen that sanctions don't work, or we haven't seen them work to the degree that the West thinks they work. Like we've seen it. It only hurts the people. So when they were putting on sanctions on Mali, it's like putting sanctions on Malians. Like Malians are the ones suffering because they can't get the goods, they can't export and import, they can't, trade with their neighboring countries, they can't go and visit their family members that are in Ghana or like those ECOWAS members. So it was not fair at all. So I was one of those people that was against the sanction against Mali. So I get why they're feeling frustrated, but it's complicated. I just wish that they can just fix it, like fix it as in go back to where the sanction was announced and just have a conversation. Like, let's not rush into putting on sanctions on our own. And that's exactly what they did. Like those African countries came together to put sanctions on Mali. And now the Malian government, which is like the transitional military government, the junta, is saying like, okay, you're going to do this, so we'll hit you back. Like that's what it looks like to me. But I want to hear from you guys what your thoughts are about this. If you've written, let me see, Mali did the best and I'm really happy. I mean, we feel them, but they're also, in a way, inconveniencing Ghanaians. But I also, I'm split into two because, in the first place, if the sanction was not put on Mali, I don't think this we won't be talking about this. But they've already put the sanctions on Mali, and Malians are paying for it, and Malians clearly love and support their leader. So who are we from outside going to tell them you need to change your leaders? Like, it just seems very odd to me that nations, like especially the Western nation, feels like they can just tell you what to do and you're supposed to do it. And they're not our colonizers. Like, they're not. I don't know how they feel comfortable choosing and picking leaders for other nations. And Malian said no, and it's clear, and they've actually went out to protest. A lot of people support their leader right now. I was shocked too, like, because this leader came after the coup, and you would think like they wouldn't want a military junta, but they seem to be happy. So if they are happy with their government, what are we talking about here? Like, what, right? Anyways, yeah, I'm sure there's more to the story. Um, so we'll update you when there's more. So Corey said, but it was very unfortunate that Ghanaians were on board. Exactly. So yes, so Kamite is saying because Mali broke away from colonial imperialism. And if you remember, all this started when the Mali junta just started cutting off France. They were like, bye, France. We don't need you. We're not going to be using your language as our national language. We're not going to be, entertaining you, basically. And we don't want you. We're not going to use the currency you have for us. So, that really pissed France so much so that it brings me to our topic. The next topic was going to be Russia blocking the UN Security Council request to investigate what happened in Mali. So before we get into that, France is the one that requested, like they submitted a request to the UN Security Council asking them to investigate. And so Russia blocked that, as well as China. China backed that up. So um like, France is so vindictive, it's not even funny. Like, they're going to the extreme to make sure, like, to make Mali pay, or anybody that goes against their nation, or like call them out. If you call them out, just expect some kind of um retaliation from them. So the next story, as I said, was going to be about Russia. So let me just get into that and explain to you a little about that. So, as I told you, France went in there, being their petty selves, went to the UN Security Council and asked the UN Security Council. They're like, yo, we need to do our research, like something happened. We need to have an investigation in Mali. What they want to investigate is the killing, the alleged killing, because we don't know. There's two sides to the story. France is saying that it's the Malian government, along with, allegedly, with the Russian mercenaries called Wagner, that killed the civilians. But Malian government is saying that they are going to investigate, and that's a lie. Like, basically, they're saying that's a lie. Our military didn't do anything to civilians. So that's what they want investigated. And the reason why Russia and China blocked it is because they said the Malian government already told us that they want to do their investigation. So why is UN getting involved? First, let them finish their investigation, and then we'll talk about, an investigation. Why is this important? The reason why this is important, and why Russia and China blocking this request, or this request to investigate, is because if you notice, whenever they request an investigation, it's usually because they want to put on sanction on that country, or put up something, along the lines of this happened, so this leader is a dictator, or whatever. This is their way of swooping into a country to swooping into a country to dismantle it. Like, we've seen, okay, let me say allegedly. Okay, allegedly, that's what they like to do. So that is why I'm sure Malians and a lot of Africans are happy with Russia and China's move to block this request. So let me hear from you because I feel like I've been talking for a bit. UN is nothing but imperial gangsterism. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Gangsterism. Like I get what you're trying to say, but I just can't say it. But yeah, I totally feel what you're saying. So Alpha said the sense of entitlement by colonial powers to their colonies is really annoying, and they constantly meddle with African politics. Yes, thank you. And they pick a side. Like for us, if it's really about caring about people, and like the outcome and human rights, like I'm with it. I will never be against it. But you always get the sense of siding with one, and usually when they side with one, like they have someone there and they know they can use that person to do whatever they want to do in that country. So unfortunately that's what's happening. So Samuel said, if your country government is overthrown by, did it disappear? Okay, wait. If your country government is overthrown by the military, then you'll understand why very well about the topic. Yeah, and there was a try, there was an attempt in Ethiopia as well, as you know, and it just didn't succeed, and it was supported by the US and all these countries we're talking about. Me too, I'm fed up with the European colonialism. Africa is awake. Yes, we are awake. And the ones that are not awake, we're waking them up. Don't worry. It's one step at a time, one step at a time. The African Empress said, the West are Africa's problem. Thank God this generation is sane. Yes, thank God. Well, it takes, okay, let me be honest. It takes knowledge, right? Like it takes some kind of awareness. When you don't know, you don't know. And I'm not, that's why I'm not hard on our brothers and sisters, because if you don't know, you don't know. And once you know though, like once you start understanding and realizing and you dig deep, you know, you have to at least share the information with a few people. You don't need to have a platform. You just need, you know, your family members, your friends, your tribe. Just make sure that they know and raise your kids accordingly so that at least their future can be set and could be better than ours, right? So next we are this one. It's just I can't believe that this is going on. It's just incredibly insane. So the topic is about, you know, how the AFCON was going on and all that good stuff. So a lot of football stars, AFCON, by that I mean African Cup. For those of you who don't follow football, I'm one of them. Well, I care. I try to support as much as I can, but I'm not. But Michael loves football, so he would have been awesome for this. But let me try, okay? So, you know, like a lot of African football stars are paid and are under, you know, those European leagues because they're talented and they're good and they need them, so they hire them. And so they were complaining. I did a report 2-3 months ago of them complaining that their leagues, their European leagues, are not allowing them to play in the African Cup. Why they want to play for the African Cup? It's plain and simple. It's because they care about their country, they love where they come from, and they want to represent their country there, right? So this football star played in the African Cup. His name is Kalichi, and his contract just got terminated. And he told us, why. I am going to read the direct quote for you. So he said, let me read for you what he said. So as I told you, his name is Kalichi No Kali, and his contract was terminated by the Spanish football club. And he said, let me tell you what he said. I can't believe we're allowing this in this day and age. Yes, according to him, the club decided to terminate the contract because he refused to accept their proposal to not play in the African Cup, which they described as not being an important tournament. He said, quote, In December 2021, I experienced the biggest honor of my life after I received a full international call up for my beloved Nigeria. But the joy of this moment quickly came crashing down when the club's sporting director, Ruben Garcia, put extreme pressure on me not to go to AFCON due to not being an important tournament. He told me that if I go and play in the African Cup, I will not play for the Spanish club. And this young man went ahead and played, and now his contract has ended. Fam, you, you have to tell me what your thoughts are about this. This young man wanted to represent Nigeria in his own free time, and he got fired because allegedly, according to him, he got fired because he wanted to play in the African Cup. His Spanish league was like, nope, we told you not to play there. It's not important to play in the African Cup, so we're firing you. We're just cutting the contract. Like, sure, it's over between you and me. That's what they told him. Like, and I don't see a lot of new. This is from iGambia. iGambia is good. They usually cover, stories relating Africa and things that the mainstream media don't want to talk about. So, like, how did no one say anything? Like, this guy was literally fired because he wanted to play for his home country. Like, what are your thoughts about this? Let me see if there's anything about that. Jerry said we don't care about football. I don't know about football. I don't love football, but I still care that this young brother was fired because he wanted to play for his own country. And let's not also forget, even though me and you might not care about football, there are millions that care about football. And Africans love football. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having a preference with sports or entertainment. Like, I genuinely don't think there's any like, it's a bad thing as long as you don't make it your whole entire life and you're not being productive because you're obsessing over football. But it's good to have a hobby, and that's fine, and it's healthy, you run around. But this brother was fired because he played for Nigeria because they believe African Cup was not an important tournament. Yeah, I thought, I wish Michael was here because I'm sure he loves football. He can say a lot. But yeah, I see Kamite saying Ethiopia has a really strong nationalism when foreign influence is disrupting the peace. We as Africans should take notes. And that's true. And I'm so proud of my country and my people when when there was a lot of foreign influence and people tried to really dismantle Ethiopia. Like, it was a scary time when that was happening. People came together and said it's not going to happen, not on our watch at least. So I agree with you, and thank you so much for standing with us. So yeah, Hilly said, yeah, African have to stand up for themselves. These people think they own Black people. Exactly. They acted like he's their slave and they owned him. Like, just imagine just firing someone just because he wanted to play for his own country in his own free time. Seriously? Yeah, they do believe like they own us. So it's just annoying. So he said they warned him, so it's insubordination. Sorry, okay, you know more about football, so you'll have to elaborate more down below. Even if they warned him, does that justify what they did? You do believe like he should, even if they told him do not play for Nigeria, they have like, he should have stopped and not played for his country? Like, let me ask you this. What's the reasoning behind telling him do not play? What do they have to lose at the end of the day? I remember them giving an example explanation before this got terminated. They were saying that during COVID, there's a high chance of the players, contracting it and blah, blah. But they still allow the European leagues to continue. So when it's just the African Cup, when we're afraid of the pandemic was there when they were playing for the European leagues, no? Like, I know that for a fact, even though I don't watch football. So yeah, I don't know. You guys let me know. Mm, let me see. Natty P said, not an important tournament. Isn't that where they rise from to become stars? Exactly. We all have been deceived and lied to. It's sad that some of us are so brainwashed that we fight our own and continue to aid the oppressor's agenda. Amen. That's what we do. And that makes me really sad. More than anything, seeing us, turning on each other because maybe somebody promised us power or somebody promised us money. Or the same example last week, me and Michael were talking about Compaore getting a life sentence, the guy that killed Thomas Sankara, our hero, basically, that leader that changed a lot for Burkina Faso in a short period of time. And he was his best friend. He just turned on him when the West told him do this. He said how when they told him jump, he said how high. He killed his own brother and became president because he wanted power. So yeah, we need to sometimes point on ourselves and our issues before we even talk about them, but we can still do both, right? We can multitask. Let's hold our own accountable at the same time address them when they're acting up. So next, this one I am gonna allow Michael to cover more if he joins us. But I can just read for you the headline and you tell me what your thoughts are about it. So this story comes from Kenya, and Kenya just ordered deportation for the CEO of Rubis for fuel shortage. I think last week we touched on that, that there was a fuel shortage in Kenya, and the CEO is a Frenchman. I think, yeah, he's French, if I'm not wrong. So they have deported him because they actually, what did they call it? Economic sabotage. Yes, that's what they're charging him for. And it's sad, however you look at it, because it's the people that suffer and it's the people that are paying the price. But if he was indeed the one that did this, I'm glad they took swift action, but I'm pretty sure he didn't work alone. So I hope the Kenyan government will do more investigation on that. So the other topic, it is about, there's one entertainment for you today that we didn't get to discuss last week. Before that, there's one last news. This is new, actually. UK government deporting Africans to Rwanda. How many of you heard about this? Like, tell me how many of you heard about this. I was so surprised. Let me see the comments as you guys type. So the topic is UK plans to send some asylum seekers to Rwanda. You'll tell me what your thoughts are, but let me see some of your comments. The African leaders have the people of Africa on their face before the rest of the world. Sorry, said multitasking. Yep. I am saying I know you wrote it in capital letter. Yep, multitasking, because when you have a to-do list, let me ask you, sorry, when you have a to-do list, you'll have priority, urgent, you'll have things to do within the day, within the week, within a month, right? You don't have just one thing to do. Like before this live, I had many things that I needed to handle. So you wake up in the morning and you write down and you say, I need to do this, that, and the third, right? So you do them, and whatever, like if something urgent comes, you put it in there because, time is also important. It's not just tasks, and some tasks can wait. So as I said, when I'm saying multitasking, even though you might not think some topics are not, really important right now, they can still be in the to-do list. They can still be discussed as you're prioritizing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 policies, agendas, and topics. I am a firm believer of that. That's my answer to you, multitasking. Alpha said, Blaise Compaoré was a treasonous and unpatriotic son of the motherland. And unfortunately, like, how do you kill your best friend? And secondly, how do you kill Thomas Sankara? he was so revolutionary. He was so young and so ambitious, and like he could have done so much, if he stayed in power, and he didn't accept the bribes from the West. Like he even, I might butcher his quote, but he said something like, I will not accept champagnes for a few, but like the others, while the others are suffering. So I'd rather not, I'd rather not have champagne. Like I love that. Like we need those kind of um, patriotic leaders. B said, I'm so glad to see Africans standing for Africans. We have hope. Yes, yes, we do. Do not give up. Sometimes this negative people might get into you, might comment and tell you like, when you think you're really gonna see that, haha, but it might not be like the way you might think, like Pan Africa. When you think about like the ideal um Pan Africa is like everybody coming together, not just Africa, but like the diaspora. That's what you think, but it might not look like that. It might look like, just for example, like me and Michael working together, different country but the same continent, us coming together to help each other. Me right now, I'm talking about Mali. It can be us coming together fighting for our rights. It's not just about me, but about like us caring about each individual in each country in the whole continent. And once we start knowing each other, we can start loving each other, we can start working together. And so, let's not give up. I think we are on the right path, in my opinion. Healy said yes, he was there undermining Kenya gas, then good riddance. um So Kamite said, I think it's a response to someone else. Doro said, that is why Africans must strive for excellence in all that we do. Correct. I could not agree with you more. If we are self-sufficient, if we're independent, we won't be begging anyone. We won't be taking aid. We won't be, we won't be afraid of sanctions. Look at Russia. Like they're handling it better because they have the resources. They made sure that they are independent. Of course, as a country, you're still going to be in a way dependent on other countries because of export and import. What you might not have, some other country might have, but still, they can still feed their people and still survive, or handle their own, right? So that's what we need to strive for. So now let's go to UK plans. So I didn't see comments. Maybe I don't see. Yeah. So let me just tell you what just happened. Britain says they will fly many refugees thousands of miles to the Central African country for processing and resettlement, a significant hardening of migration policy. So what Britain is trying to do is send immigrants and asylum seekers to Rwanda while they process their requests. A lot of activists are not happy with this, and frankly, I'm not even sure what to say, because first of all, why is Rwanda a dumping place? I understand they promised the money and like 100 million, something like that, $140 million for anything those refugees might need. Like why is Rwanda a dumping ground? And secondly, didn't UK just say that they want to take in refugees from Ukraine? It's just so incredibly insane to me. The double standards are just, it's just too much. Here they're asking for refugees to come and stay at their place for free and give them food and process their whatever, what is the process called? It's not asylum, because Ukrainians are not fleeing because of political issues. They're just fleeing because of war. So they just want to facilitate everything for them because they have blonde hair and blue eyes. But other refugees are being told, you can wait in Rwanda, all the way over there in Africa, and we'll process it for you. It's crazy. And I've also read somewhere that the reason why Boris Johnson is doing this is because he wants to get votes, or like he wants the conservatives to be really happy with him. It's not necessarily because he wants to send the refugees and immigrants. He just wants to look good with his peers and turn his, what do you call it, point his finger at the left wing or something like that. But at the end of the day, for African immigrants, immigrants and refugees include anybody from like Iraq, Lebanon, whatever, Africa. So let me address the Africans, right? Our brothers and sisters are fleeing their countries because they are looking for a better life. Not just that, there are real genuine asylum seekers because, they spoke up against their government and their government wants to do something to them because there's no free speech in their country, or their opposition parties and the government wants to remove them because they don't want the opposition. There's all that stuff. And I get it. I get that there's a lot going on, but for the ones that are fleeing because they want to get a job, they want to just change their lives, all I have to say is, like, we have seen many examples from people that went there, or the videos that we've watched, or the articles that we've read. These people do not like us. They just, at the very best, like, when it's not bad, they don't like us. When it gets worse, like, there's more, like, there's racism, there's an attack on Black people. So let's just focus on us. Let's try to build our own countries where we are. I know it's easier said than done, but what option do you have? You'd rather die in the sea trying? You'd rather go there and get thrown in prison? You'd rather go there and somebody call you a monkey? Like, can we just try our best where we are? When I say this, I know it's easier to say it, but there are many Africans that are starting from scratch in the same countries that we are talking about. There's bad leadership. It's a poor country. They don't come from a well-off family, but they still make it. Why don't we, try where we are? Like, that's my request and plea to our brothers and sisters, because the way we are being seen and the way we are being treated, that's not it. Like, that's not it. It's unacceptable. And the only way I think we can fix that is by bettering our situation, our circumstance, and just being resourceful where we are and changing our own lives and our communities' lives. It starts from the home, it starts from the individual and then the community. So let's just focus on that. Now, lastly, to just leave this. Ooh, do I see Michael? Welcome.
I had some technical difficulties, but I'm here to join the party. So what has been going on?
Oh my God, a lot, Michael. You missed a lot. But now I was finalizing and I was about to go through the entertainment. Before I do, because we have one topic on the young man that married the 85-year-old woman, I want you to tell us in case there's something you need to add, because I know you missed quite a bit. Just let me give you the floor and then we can go discuss that.
Okay, so let me see. I'm assuming you talked about, let's see. I'm assuming you talked about the UK sending.
Yes, but you add more to it, because yeah, I didn't have much to say.
Yeah. So for me, the only thing maybe I can add to it is that, isn't it ironic when the UK is offering Ukrainians free housing, free jobs, and free everything? Africans are still being forcefully thrown back, like not even in their country. Like, if somebody came from Nigeria, you're being thrown into Rwanda. You don't have family or anything. Yeah. So, like, I always find it how ironic it is that racism is so obvious. Like, today, it's nothing to be shy about or even embarrassed about. They gladly, flaunt it towards us, right? Yeah. So,
yeah.
then,
and Michael, I would also like you to share with them about the Ruby CEO a bit more, because I just read for them and I couldn't give them details. I want you to talk to them about that.
Yeah. So they like as you said, like and you kind of mentioned it in our previous episode when I was saying there was an oil crisis and because of the Ukrainian war, it's the reason. Then you said no, you read there was like some government thing or people hiding the oil, right? So
Yeah.
it came to light that it's actually true. There's this CEO, is a French guy, that he was actually manipulating, like was actually making it appear that there's no oil or fuel in Kenya while selling it to other people. And I'm sure, which I'm assuming it's Europe, right? So that was the actual trick. There's actually enough fuel. It's just that he was taking an advantage. Maybe the Europeans were offering them more money. It's like, hey guys, since you're not getting our oil from Russia, you can sell us this oil that you have. Then they're like, hey, this oil is for Kenya. They're like, hey, we can offer you more money. So the guy was deported, right, for economic sabotage. But for us, we call it economic terrorism, because that's what most of these multinational firms do to Africa, right? The same way with Apple, the same way with Google, the same way with Tesla, the same way with Microsoft, the same way with Dell. Their dealings in the DR Congo, their dealings in Africa, the same way with Rio Tinto, this mining company. It's usually like economic terrorism, where they come in, take as much as they want, quickly leave, right? And they try to make a shilling out of it while making sure the African, the people on the ground are left with nothing. So exactly the same thing exactly happened to Kenya. And at least now, the good thing is that the Kenyan government took charge, deported the guy. Then the guy is saying he wasn't deported, he actually left by his own will, but he was actually deported. So yeah, so maybe it's a good start, and let it not stop there. If there are these people who are taking advantage, especially in the DR Congo, these miners in Zimbabwe are taking advantage of the local community. I think that all governments should just quickly, get rid of them.
Agreed. Okay. So do you have anything else to add from the
So
previous conversation?
yeah. So did you touch on Tedros, the
I
WHO?
wanted us both to discuss on that.
Okay. So now, like, how can I say, ironically or hypothetically, like what's the word? Like something cruel happened. He went, I think yesterday, made an announcement that there's racism and Africans are being treated differently from Ukrainians. He's joining the bandwagon of saying popular things. So he gets back to the mainstream. He's got people to please, right? But ironically, that guy is, I don't say single-handedly, but responsible for a lot of the heartache and deaths that's happening in Ethiopia right now, in the Tigray region. And he's used his world position to seek favors and try to help the TPLF, try to give them weapons in the guise of food. There were reports that many UN and World WHO trucks were being used to ferry TPLF like terrorists. Much of that food that he's begging the world to send to Tigray is actually not even reaching the poor people of Tigray. It's actually feeding the TPLF terrorists to go and cause more havoc. So this is the irony of somebody like that claiming that there's racism, because he's a tribalist, right? He would kill his own people to protect his tribe. And like I always find people like that like the worst. Like I think there's this the late president of Ghana, Jerry Rawlings. He said somebody worse than an enemy is a traitor, right? And I think Tedros is a traitor to Ethiopia, and that's even worse. Because it hurts more and it's more damaging to Ethiopia. Even the president. The prime minister of Ethiopia and also the military the military heads just today claimed that Tedros is directly helping the TPLF rebels through his post as the World Health Organization head. Yeah. So yeah. With that said, yeah, I really wanted to get that one off my chest because it's like I think, as I said, it's way worse than an enemy. Yeah, somebody you know, somebody from your country doing that, hurting your country. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sad, and a lot of people are really disappointed and disheartened. But he also used to serve in the same government as the same people that he's serving. So I don't know if there's like a difference between the two, because he was under that, government. And so I don't think there's a difference between him and them. But when he became WHO, I guess a lot of people were proud and happy as an Ethiopian for him to be there, and they were hoping that he will like care for everyone, not just those groups that he benefited with or worked with. And yeah, it's really disheartening.
And even worse, like he wasn't even under the TPLF. He's among the founding members of the TPLF.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. He's
yeah,
like I think
yes,
there were six, right? Like I think there
yeah.
were six. And he's the only one who's still alive. So technically, he's the de facto leader.
that's
No, he's
that's
the de
his
facto
baby.
leader. Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
because right now you think it's this guy Gabriel Michelson, I think, but I think he's the guy in charge, right? And it's just up to him to call out for peace. And
yeah. And
yeah.
have you heard the leaked audio that came out of UN? The
No, no, no,
ladies that were fired. You don't know? Oh,
no,
you
no, no,
don't know
no.
about
Just
that
tell me
story.
about
It's
it.
a long
Okay.
story. It's a long
Breaking
story,
news.
but
Breaking
they're
news.
fired now.
Huh?
Those ladies are
Oh,
fired. They are UN employees in Ethiopia, and they're not
okay.
Ethiopian.
Yeah. Like
Like
I remember.
Kenyan, yeah. And
Yeah.
they've been in, they went for 30 plus years, and
Yeah.
there was a leaked audio of them talking about how Tedros is like influencing the situation.
Yes.
They were quickly fired, and nobody asked why they were fired after this
Yeah.
leaked audio. And they were
And
talking about how we've never seen such a thing in our whole career. Like literally, the command doesn't come through us, even though they were responsible for Ethiopia, and everything about UN should come through them. They were saying we were being sidelined. It will come straight from the US, straight to uh, like the Tigray, and nobody addresses them, nobody CCs them in the email, and they were like, we've never seen such a thing. Like we don't even know what's in Ethiopia, and we're in charge of Ethiopia, and then they were fired.
something worse about that, you know how hard it is to get fired from the UN. Like I've got experience in the UN, right? Like we
Oh
had
yeah,
people who have got cases of sexual harassment, threatening others, racism. They still keep their jobs, right? So for those UN employees to be fired, it means it had to come straight from the top. So yeah,
yeah.
you
And they were
just don't
saying
get.
that they said in the audio, I'll send you after, as soon as this live ends, I'll send you the link and you'll hear all of it. And they were saying we've never seen such a thing. Not just that, the actual main guys were flying to Tigray straight, not
Wow.
involving them in the capital city in Addis. So
All
they were like, what is this? So that's the conversation that got them fired. And the mainstream media, I did a report on it, though I don't know how many people watched it, but still, like, nobody talked about, like, this is such a huge deal.
yeah,
UN
yeah,
employees whistle blew, and then like this story leaked, they got fired. They're women, they worked there for a long time.
yeah,
Nobody cared because they had, you can't say, oh, they were being biased. Why would they be biased? They were not even Ethiopian.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll send you that audio.
Yeah, so now, like this is the thing. Even this week, it's called the Horn of Africa envoy for the
Hmm.
United States. He's quitting his job, and this is, I think, the second one in as much time. Like they're really trying to uh, how can I say, disrupt Ethiopia. They're really trying to disrupt the Horn, but it's constantly failing and failing and failing, and they keep switching these guys, right? So this envoy, he just joined recently. He's failed to do his job of, like I think, putting the TPLF back in power so they can have control of Ethiopia again, right? And like it goes to show that things are different these days. Governments are not toppled as they used to. People are not easily manipulated as they used to, right? They still and for Ethiopia it was a really hard struggle, and still a hard struggle how they fought off the imperialist powers, right? It was really a struggle because the media was against them, popular culture was against them, all Western governments were against them. Even some of their fellow brothers and sisters in the continent were against them. So just a few
Yeah,
countries like Kenya
yeah,
and there are a few solid countries that really stuck with Ethiopia. At least they came out on top and embarrassed the people trying
yeah.
to.
And you know what the issue was, as you said, everyone was against Ethiopia. Everyone, by that I mean every people, like an entity that you have mentioned. The sad thing is, since the people, the like civilian, the normal person like me and you, the average person, will only get their information from the CNNs, the
Yeah,
BBCs, the Al Jazeeras, the New York Times, and their own politicians. They'll hear them and they'll be like, wait a minute, yeah, like this is happening. Let's save,
yeah,
even if they have a good intention in their heart, they'll be like, let's save Ethiopia from this government, when they don't know a lot about what's going on, you know, inside. I learned from this. I have learned not to take things for face value. Like whatever. Now, when they're talking about, let's say, Zimbabwe, I'm like, wait a minute. I need to do
and,
more research. Wait a minute. Especially if
and,
the
for,
US is
and
on the side of whatever
yeah,
entity, I will question that. I will investigate. I just
like,
cannot.
like for me, this is the thing that I've never understood why somebody would think the United States are the good guys, right? The United States are not the good guys. The United States incinerated children, pregnant women in Japan, right? Like incinerated, right? Like infants. Like a country that can do that to unborn children, regardless of what they do or the reasons for what they did or to end the war or something, they're not the good guys, right? So people always like get tricked that, oh, World War II, it was between evil and good, right? The Nazis were the bad guys, the Allied forces, the British people, and the Americans were the good guys. No,
Mm,
it was all against evil, because once the Nazis were defeated, the British people went on and continued colonizing us and exploiting
mm,
us, right? The
mm,
United States still continued with the racism and the slavery and the institutional slavery, right? Meaning, the good guys, think about it, right? Uh, like if you feel oppressed or you're like you're not part of this white supremacist world, like you're the good guy, right? But if you're the ones who's calling the shots and telling countries what to do and telling leaders what to do, switching leaders, like you're the bad guy, right? Yeah. So with it, like in the current situation, right? If the United States is in a certain side, they tend to market themselves as the good guys, right? But no, it's actually the opposite, right? Yeah.
and I am glad that we know this. And I'll be happy to admit, I was not born with this knowledge of knowing that they're not the good guys. Like you learn through time, through experience, through reading, through a lot of coincidences. Like, wait a minute, US was here. Wait a minute, US. And
Yeah.
so, you know, so how we can change, I believe, is getting the information. After that, thankfully, most people can um, think logically. Some will still stick with their tribe, will still stick with whatever activist, is telling them what to do. But as long as we think about it, like, and learn a little bit more about their history and what they've done in other countries, I think our future leaders, like African future leaders, will do better, unless they're sellouts, I guess. But yeah.
And then like another story, I didn't get a chance to do it, is like based on that, right? Based on being sellers. So in Uganda, there are some like environmental group that were protesting a pipeline that would pipe Uganda's oil and take it for like export, right? So they were
Mm,
protesting they're protesting the environmental damage to that, right? So for me, like the irony is, like Uganda needs to exploit all its natural resources as the West, China, India is doing, right? So by this environmental purism, like oh we don't want to dig up our oil, like somebody else will steal it, right? So instead of those young Africans protesting, hey, stop digging our oil, and in the other one they're like we need more jobs for, like we need more jobs, the youth needs employment, right? You can't have your cake and eat it too. It's either the government does not use what it has to create jobs and resources for you guys, or it's either the government does what every other country is doing and exploits its resources, sells its resources, gets money. So that's for me the thing I always find like ironic, that Africans, although we are the ones who contributed less, I think it's less than 5% to all climate change, all effects on the environment in the world. Like we're still the ones who are protesting the most, that for our governments not to to exploit our resources and benefit as much as these other countries that have benefited, right? So like I
Yeah.
understand, extremely hilarious, but also very worrying, especially for this younger generation, the so-called woke generation, right? Yeah,
Mm.
like we don't want to destroy our environment. Maybe it's something new. It's not you who destroyed it. You found it already destroyed, right? So yeah. So for me, that's one thing we also wanted to cover, but time didn't allow us, because this week has been very newsworthy, right? So many things
Mm.
happened, from
Mm.
Kenya's parliament refusing Ukraine to speak, to the African Union. The African Union cannot refuse, but they are like like you're getting the feeling they're not really lining up to make
Yeah.
things happen, right? That's called diplomacy, telling somebody
Yeah.
no in a nice way, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we're ready helping you guys and stuff. Yeah, so it's been a very eventful week. So I
Yeah.
think uh, maybe after we can finish up with some
Light.
lighter news.
Yeah. Yes. Let's see. Yeah, our comment section are they're really engaged and they're having a conversation. I even see Bill Gates here somewhere. That's a whole topic. That's a whole podcast. It's just yeah.
Like even talking about Bill Gates, we recently did Africa True Story, a documentary about how Melinda Gates was like, oh, Africans will be on the streets dying of COVID, but it was actually ironic that it happened to them. So maybe you guys can go to the channel and check out
Oh, you've
the
done
show.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Go watch that after this though.
Yeah. We usually used to do these documentary shorts. We used to call it Africa True Story. We stopped for a while, but now the series is back, so you can have a look and see how
Yeah.
interesting this and ironic that story was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those people are special. Like one day, I'm pretty sure if we do a story on them, it's gonna be demonetized. But it's worth talking about. One day we'll dedicate a whole podcast to them because they are weird. But okay,
And
that's
like also big thing, because as I said, this week has so much thing. So you mentioned something, right? If you talk about it, you might be demonetized. So we recently got an email from YouTube. Like I don't think like I even think maybe you got it, right? That
about
now,
Ukraine.
yeah, like
Yeah,
about
I
Ukraine.
did.
So we are not to even talk about this. No, we might be demonetized or even cancelled, right? So
Yeah.
like in the email it says technically you're not allowed to have alternative ideas to the Ukraine war, right? If you say anything negative about Ukrainians during this war, the video would be monetized. It would be demonetized, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So technically, it's either you keep quiet about Ukraine or don't
Yeah.
make money from
You
YouTube.
pay for it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
So
got
yeah,
the email. I was like,
yeah,
there
it's
we go. Of course.
it's the world, it's the world we live in. So we
Yeah,
just
you
find
just
it.
have to abide by their
Mm.
laws. You have to have the same opinion and you have to take the same side, or else they'll make you pay. That's sad. That's why we need our own platforms. Again, that's another topic for another, day. But yeah, we really, really need our own because this is a reminder of how we're just here, like a guest on somebody's platform, and how they can just take it away in
Yep.
seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If you sneeze, if you just say, "Hey, look over there," like something's fishy, you can be in trouble. So I
Yep.
like this comment by TSP Cocktail. Is like the live stream is great. Consider doing regular live streams for subs, like sub in the info. Yeah, yeah. So we do this every Friday, right?
Yeah, we do
Yeah, yeah,
Fridays.
yeah, yeah. Regardless of the situation, if for me I'm stuck somewhere, like we'll always try our best to give you this conversation, because I think it's very informative, and it's always good for people to uh, go back and forth. And we'll also start having guests as from both our members, right?
Yeah.
And did I can just
Eventually, we'll start that. I saw her, and I was gonna tell you I didn't want to cut you in. She walked like very confidently, like that's her runway.
yes, yes. That's the channel mascot. Okay.
Okay, she's so
Okay.
cute.
So let's go to the final news. I know today I've got so many
Okay,
stories.
will do. Will do. Somebody asked about free speech. Do you support Elon Musk? I support what he's doing.
Mm,
I might not like everything that he does, but he's trying to buy Twitter. I know he already bought like 9.2% share, but now
yeah.
he's trying to buy the 100% all of it. And he's always been outspoken about free speech and how Twitter is removing people for speaking their minds, and how he doesn't like how Twitter handles their platform. So if anything, I respect his move to buy the whole company instead of complaining about it. I don't know if they'll sell it to him, but for
But
me, I'm
but
for free speech and I like what he's doing.
but isn't that dangerous now? Like what if he buys it and is like a Nazi, or like his dad? Elon Musk's dad was a very is he alive or something? Like he's really not a good man. He's murdered people in like I don't think people like I think he killed a South African, an African South African, while he was trying maybe to enter his compound. He shot him. Like I'm saying, the
You'll have to
history.
share with me that
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
story. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. So this is the thing about Elon Musk. He's got this media image about himself, how he came up from nothing and he
No, I
made his
think
own.
his parents were millionaires. Did I
Yeah,
see
like
that
it's no,
somewhere?
like not millionaires, but his parents were beneficiaries of the apartheid system, right?
Okay.
So he benefited from that cushy life, right, of exploiting Africans and uplifting white people in South Africa. And he comes to us like, "Hey, I'm this self-made person." So like I've got issues with
Okay.
him based on that.
Respectfully, me and
Yeah,
Michael are gonna disagree for
yeah, yeah,
the
sure,
first
sure,
time.
sure,
I agree
sure,
with
sure.
what you're saying when it comes, because I don't know the story. You'll have to send
Yeah,
to me, and I'll need to do more research. Of course, I'll never support him hurting anyone, and Africa. And on top of that, no. But when you're saying like he's saying he's self-made, but he's benefited from apartheid. You can still be self-made and come from millionaires. Like in my opinion, like
yeah,
you, Michael, can have millionaires as parents, and you
yeah,
can be
yeah.
a trust fund baby, but you can still grow it to the point where you worked hard and you become the number one billionaire in the world. I feel like you've had an input, and you in a way made it yourself because your parents were just millionaires or
Uh,
beneficiary, whatever you want to call it. That's what I'm saying.
like when I mean he benefited from the apartheid system, like I don't mean that because his parents were rich, they helped him as in they helped him with money to start like his business, right? No, no, no. What I mean he benefited from the apartheid government is that he had an opportunity that was stolen from a South African who would have gotten that
Oh,
same opportunity. You get, as in the South Africa, the apartheid government made Africans not to like even learn in their language. They force them to learn in a language that they don't know, putting them down and uplifting white South Africans. That's why even today, South Africa has a very huge wealth
Wealth
gap
gap.
of
Yeah.
the white population and the African like Africans who are there, right? It's not because Elon Musk is smarter or more hardworking than the rest. It's just because he was in a system where he had it easier to go to school, get good education, right? Like he started making games like when he was young, selling it to. So you're trying to tell me Africa, like an African South African who was fighting, getting killed in the streets in South Africa, had that opportunity to
Of
sit
course
down
not.
and be like, hey, let me think of making games and selling it and getting money, right? So that's what I
Yeah.
mean when he had an unfair advantage growing up
Okay.
to eventually go to America, right? How many South Africans, like Africa, like when I mean African South Africans, right? Like I don't say black South Africans because they are South Africans, right? You can't be black in your own country, right? They're just South Africans, right? How many South Africans can say they had the opportunity of, after you finish school, you go to a fancy university, that you're so privileged that you're like, hey, it's not a must I finish it, right? Something like that. But I'm saying, yeah, that I mean when I feel he had like I feel it's unfair because it happens still today in South Africa, right? Where there's this white elite who get all the benefits of a country, right? Like I think it's 12% population, and it's like, and then the worst thing is that things like that cause xenophobia, right? You see how South
Yeah.
Africans are very aggressive against other Africans who are there, right? But
Mm.
but they can go and murder 100 Zimbabweans, 100 Nigerians, but they can't touch one white person.
That's sad.
Yeah. It's because of that kind of system, right? They've been oppressed. They can't
Mm.
even think like, hey, the cause of all my poverty, the cause of why I can't go forward is this apartheid system, right? It's not this Zimbabwean or this Nigerian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, that's why
Unfortunately,
yeah. And like I always say
yeah,
that,
what you see is who you take it out on, I think, like, because
yeah,
they can't reach the whites, they can't
yes,
go to their neighborhoods, they don't have access to them as much as the Zimbabwean just on the streets selling peanuts, right? So yeah.
so when it comes to Elon Musk, like he's tried to sanitize his rise, right? Yeah. Like the way he tells his story, every background has
Yeah, even
something
us,
like,
we're always the hero in our stories, like
yeah,
individually,
yeah, yeah,
even us, like,
yeah, yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
person did this to me. Yeah.
So to come full circle, like somebody who grew up in a authoritarian system, would you want that person to control something as powerful? Just one person, right? Who grew up you're a product of where you came from, right? He grew up with that. Like, for you to be successful, you must take from other people. That's apartheid, right? Yeah.
Mm.
So, like for me, like, would you want to risk somebody who had that upbringing? Like when you grow up, like you're your own person, right? Like you can make your own decisions. You're an adult. You're not a product of your parents. You can rebel. You can have your own ideologies and stuff, right? But can you risk a person who grew up like that, right, seeing all the unfairness and seeing it like it's okay, right? Because he didn't fight against the apartheid system, like as far as I know, right? He just left. It's like, hey, I'm out of here. So like, would you want somebody like that to be in charge of just one person? Because if he owns it, he's one person. There's no board. There's no discussion. Like, if he, like, you see how the Twitter took long to ban Trump, right? Because they had to
Yeah,
go
but they
through.
still did though. That's
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah,
issue.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It does. It doesn't matter if it takes
So
time
now
though.
Elon Musk, so no, but because that one, it had to go through systems, and it took time, right? But now if Elon Musk owns it, then he sees my video of me talking bad about him, he can be like, Michael, out.
Yeah,
Like,
but I thought that's what he's fighting against from my understand. Like, I get it. Like, there's no guarantee. Like, we cannot trust. I feel like we cannot trust the board members right now as well, because you know what they did to the No More movement?
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah, definitely,
literally banned us from the trending page. Just
definitely.
imagine
Mhm.
Twitter banned No More movement, people fighting
Yes.
for their country, and they're like, nope, be quiet, we don't want to hear from you. So for me,
Mhm.
I take it very personally, right? For them to have that kind of
Uh,
privilege, not just privilege, nobody questioning them, that they can just remove a whole movement. So
mm,
for me, they're the same. If anything, from what I've heard, of course, I'm just speaking
mm,
from what I've read, he can
yeah.
be lying. So yeah, you are totally right. Putting it on 1% still is gonna be is
And
not gonna
and
be
technically
guaranteed. But he's so
on
for he fights for free speech. He's like, why do we ban people? Let's just go. If anything, I'm scared that everybody can say anything on Twitter and people can get abusive, and like there's no
uh,
regulation. That's what I'm scared of.
so like so this is the thing. Like for me, like even also my other problem with Elon Musk is that he's a child, right? He's a child. If somebody says something he doesn't like, he goes and calls them pedophiles, and as in he's how can I say, he's petty.
But you know,
He's
he's also autistic.
Yeah, but yeah. So, would you want somebody, just one person, just because he doesn't, like, he can't say your name right? He's like, oh, Wongra, like, he's like, I'm banning her, like. So
I
for
hear
me,
you,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
a risk. Yes, that's
yeah,
a
yeah.
risk.
The
But I feel
alternative
like
for
they're both the same. Yeah.
so for me, like, I've been thinking of this Twitter. There's a platform that I always like, and I've always wondered how it's not collapsed since today, and it's Wikipedia, right? You see how
Oh.
Wikipedia is just a people platform, right?
Mm,
Right? Yeah. So, like,
yeah.
what if Twitter was run like Wikipedia, where nobody, like, it's the community that bans people, like, it's a community that moderates people. It's just not these people. It's just not these people who like board members or an owner who control it, right? Like for now, like Wikipedia, right? You can go to Wikipedia and I say, like, Elon Musk is a child, right? I edit on his profile, right? And it will stay there till somebody goes back and goes like, no, Elon Musk is not a child, right? Somebody can be like, no, but he's a bit. I think it's an open platform where people uh, like talk, right? Like the Wikipedia platform, and you've used Wikipedia, right? I've used Wikipedia. Every person has used Wikipedia. So if
I
Twitter was
have.
like if Twitter was run like that, where like the solution is like there's no point in replacing one evil with another evil, right? You know,
Okay.
like I always keep saying it. One of my favorite saying, like of all time, is like, for me, always go like, the voice of the people is the voice of God, right? If you let people moderate these things, right? Yeah. So think about it. Like for the Nomo movement, right? So if there's a certain group that wants to ban the Nomo movement, right? Would it have been possible if it was a community based? Because how many Ethiopians are there? They are like 100, like 100, almost 100 million Ethiopians, right? So even if there's a certain
110,
group,
I believe. Hmm.
110. So even if there's a certain group that goes to Twitter like, oh, the normal movement is about this and this, 100 million people will be like, no, it's about this, and the majority would correct the mistake, right? So for me, I think one person is way dangerous than a board, because at least the good thing with the board is that I've been in like in huge institutions and huge companies, right? And I know there's nothing as efficient as bureaucracy, right?
Yeah.
So at least they have that going for it. Like, decisions are not made based on somebody's feeling, based on how somebody woke up that day, based on somebody's mental health, right?
Yeah.
Decisions are made, yeah. Decisions are made by, like, they take so long to like implement. But I'm saying, like, for now, like, I don't think he'll get it. The board refused.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, like, I'm hoping Twitter learns its lesson and becomes like more of an open platform, because
Yeah.
that's why Jack Dorsey left, because it
Yeah.
wasn't
The
like
creator.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it wasn't his vision. It changed to something else, right?
Yeah. That's what makes me sad and annoyed, because it's like it's it's obvious. You can tell that they chose a side, they picked a side, and they're gonna stick to it, and it doesn't matter. And that annoys me. That's why I was like, oh yay, change. I was not even thinking about the details or the logistics. I'm like, yes,
Uh,
because you guys have been acting like gods. It's about time that somebody checks you.
the same thing also happened to WhatsApp, on Facebook. The guy who made WhatsApp, he left WhatsApp because he was
Yeah,
like, "This is not what I just envision people talking,
yeah,
not conversations being used to sell you something or being
yeah.
sent to government agencies or
Yep.
being spied on." Like say, so I think with this thing, it's create your own and don't sell out, because when you sell it to corporates,
That
like
one.
it's a fault, right? So
Yeah.
I can never feel bad for Jack Dorsey that whatever he made, he changed. If
Yeah.
it's a fault. You gave it to capitalists, and what
Yeah.
will they do with it? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, like for Elon Musk, like personally, I always have no issues with him, right? Like I think he's like brilliant and has pushed a lot of things, ahead. But his story and his white savior complex, like it's only him who can go and save, like how it's portrayed in the media, right? You know,
Okay.
yeah. So that's the only thing like I always I'm against. But like personally, like I think we can be cool pals with him. I think.
Clearly, I need to watch that documentary or something.
Do this. Like if you want, because he's the good thing. Like he's rich. He's on the internet. He's choreographed his story very well, right? So if you just go to the basic search terms, you'll not find most of his real life story. But if you want to do that, search. I forget his dad's name. Go through the history of his dad. Okay, right? He tries so much to distance himself from his dad. I think he wants. I'm not sure. Like I think he's ever sued his dad or something. I don't know, but he's tried so much to distance himself from his father because that's the only link to who he actually is. His history, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
just try maybe going through about it through his father's story,
Okay.
how 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 he made a living, how they became where they were, like that. Good. Then going forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
next,
So quite
and let's
no more interruptions.
clearly Elon Musk is a hot topic. So, the next topic, the light one we were talking about, is about a 25-year-old man that is getting married to an 85-year-old woman with 20 grandkids. And he
What?
says, I quote, "It's my choice." And it's in Kenya, by the way.
Yeah, like
So
I read that.
let me tell our audience the story. Let me just do a short story for them. So this young man, where is, let me see his name. His name is what? It's not here. So okay, I guess we'll have to skip on his name. Maybe it's a good thing that we're skipping his name. The lady's name is Teresa, the grandma. So they met. They met when he was looking for a house to rent. So
Mhm.
he went to her house, and she gave him a house, like he rented from her with his roommate. And he said she was so nice to him. She will give him food. She takes care of him, and she shows him love. So he says he fell in love with her. And now their favorite thing to do is travel and just have fun. And like he's the same age as her fifth child, grandchild, fifth
Wow. What?
grandchild.
Wow.
Yeah, he's 25 and she's 85 years old. And I wish I could. I don't know if I can. Wait, let me.
Yeah. Like you can share
I
the
don't
video
know if
because
you can.
we
Let
should
me see.
like we shouldn't be doing this. Like we should be having like
Wait.
pictures.
Can they see? Here they are. Please tell me you can see them.
Yes, yeah, I can. I can.
You can?
Yes.
Okay. So that's
She
them.
she has flawless skin. She has flawless skin. For age, skin is on point.
Yes. So they're claiming that they are in love and they don't care what people are saying. And he even is planning on paying for her dowry, which is like an African culture, and specifically in the Kenyan culture, the man pays the bride's parents like whatever they ask for. If it's cattle, if it's money, he just gives them as like respect, or like, you know, whatever they ask for. As that's the culture. So he's saying that he's paying her kids and grandkids 12 cows for
Wow.
her, and they're very serious about it. What are your thoughts about this, Michael?
So for me, like the first thing I say is that
Somebody said it.
our
He's
skin,
waiting for that life insurance. Sorry. Uh-huh. Okay.
like for us, like one thing I've seen in that photo is like we have like perfect skin. She's 85 and she has flawless skin. You know, right? They say black don't crack. So you know, like
That's true.
she's keeping herself like very well. I've always wanted a head of white hair, you know, so she's also rocking the white hair look nicely. Yeah, so for me it's always like when it comes to these things, like the extreme, when it comes to marriage, there are always mostly three things, right? Money, right? So it's either a money thing, right? True love, you know, sometimes it's just love, or maybe it's a psychological issue. Maybe he's missing something that you know, he didn't have a chance maybe to be with his mom or grandma or something. There's something missing when he was growing up, right? So for me, this one, in all the three, based on the information that you've given me, I would go for true love. Like I think they look good together.
And I forgot to your point. When you said maybe he missed something in his childhood, something like a ping went in my head.
Yeah.
Like he said, the first time he realized he loved her was when she brought him food and she took care of him, and that sounds like he didn't get the affection and love. Like
Uh,
she was a mother figure, and he's like, okay,
yeah.
somebody that is giving me food and caring for me
So,
when I'm sick. So I feel like you're
so
right.
So you can even find it's not even like a sexual relationship. It's just like a friendly relationship, or just like a maternal relationship, right? Where they just care for each other. And like you know, when people think people are married, they always go like to like it's sex and you know, like all the no. But sometimes companionship is way important than
But they
like the most
did share
important
that
thing.
they kissed.
Oh, really?
You know, he said
No,
he's
no.
the one that initiated it.
Hey, before paying dowry, yeah, we like, oh,
And I forgot something really important. She said that they're thinking about expanding their families and they want to have kids. And she said, I'm a Christian. I believe in the Bible. Like, I am hopeful that I can have a baby. There,
oh,
I was like, okay,
Like
well, maybe
Sarah,
that's a bit much.
like Sarah. Yeah.
But, you know,
But
make them
but also
happy.
but also recently, like it's been happening like so much in Kenya, like women in their 60s and 50s having babies, right? So
Yes, there is
yeah,
the exception. Yeah.
they're like and recently it's been happening a
Even
lot.
Janet Jackson, I think she had her baby like at 50 or something.
So maybe they might have a chance. You never know. Yeah, yeah,
I don't
but for
know,
me,
but like they seem
but
in
for
love.
me,
We're not mad at that. They're not hurting anybody. You
yeah.
know, as long as they're happy. If they love it, we love it. Good for them. So people
Let's
are
get
saying,
let's read.
the young guy is mentally ill. I
Yeah.
don't, I cannot say that,
So,
but somebody said he needed that mother figure. Oh well, a 25-year-old man don't want sex. No, but I think they're active, Hilly. I think they are. But anyways, yeah. So that's
like
the life story.
is mentally ill. Yeah. She can't have babies. Like you know, you never know. This world is we don't know everything about everything. So
Maybe
yeah.
she's rich and maybe they can hire a surrogate or something.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
that
But even
option.
in the stories that I've been
Maybe
following,
she's right.
like it's all been natural. In
Yeah.
the with some things year-old having giving birth, it's all been natural. So maybe in Africa our water tastes different, right? Uh,
Yeah.
uh,
So good luck to the newlyweds. We wish them
yeah,
all the best.
yeah. So for me, like my thing is, I usually don't interfere with people's beliefs and people's
Yeah.
traditions, people's like what people want to do, as long as it's not hurting somebody else, or as long as it's not exploiting somebody else. So if they're both they're both sane and it's consensual, I don't think anybody should be able to stop them. They should write
I agree, but we can
like a
still talk
movie.
about them.
Yeah, we can, which is which always broadens perspectives,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
so so so, so now for me, I have a question for you, right? Why
yeah.
is it always sensational when it's a young man and an old woman, but it's like an everyday thing when it's the opposite, when it's an old man with a young girl?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know if how do I say this? I mean, I feel like men have an advantage. Like
Mhm.
like oh, Michael disappeared. It's just me here now. Okay, he asked me a question, but I don't know if I feel too comfortable answering it without just being a bit much. But he's right, he raised a good point. Like, it's usually when the other way around. But I do believe, even if it's an older man like 85 years old and a younger female that is 25, would still be like, why is she with him? Is she with him for his money? Like, does she want something from him? Is that a deal? Like, I think so. Like, we talk about that, but it's even extreme. mm, it's more sensational, as you said, when it's the other way around. Maybe that's a good question to think about. The first thing that popped into my head was like the biology of it. And but yeah, that's the double standards for you. So
So
maybe
maybe
Oh,
he's
okay,
right.
okay. I'm back. Sorry. Like my device went off.
It's okay,
it's
it's okay,
okay.
we're
It's okay.
almost
We're
finished.
almost finished.
Yeah, okay, cool.
But
Yeah.
there's an
But there's
echo,
an
but
echo.
you
Oh yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah. Now no fancy mics and speakers, unfortunately. So So like maybe if you can tell me your opinion. I missed it.
When I'm
When
talking,
I'm talking,
yeah, there's an
yeah, there's an
echo.
echo.
I've
Okay, okay.
already
I've
told
already
them what I
told them what
think,
I
so you
think,
can
so you
mention
can
after
mention
this is
after
done.
this
I
is
don't
done.
matter
I don't
anyway.
matter anyway.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Like maybe we can like because you've got better sound, you can close up the stream.
Okay.
Okay.
Ah, there's the echo.
There's
Maybe
the
mute.
echo.
Let me
Maybe mute. Like,
check 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's good. So yeah, I guess it's something to think about, why we don't find it as funny when it's the other way around. So yes, we wish them all the best. They seem to be happy. Good luck to the couple, and I hope they enjoy their lives together. And we had so much fun today, and I had a good time with the chat and with Michael after he joined us. This was an awesome podcast. Please, 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 come back next week, same time, Friday. It's going to continue, and in the future we are going to be bringing you guys up here so we can have an open dialogue with all of you. Thank you so much for watching. Michael, say bye first, and then I'll say mine, and we can end it.
Thank you for joining. Sorry for the bad audio at the end, but we always appreciate you guys. Make sure to check out both our channels, which will be in the descriptions below. And you remember, Africa is watching.
Stay
stay
blessed.
blessed.